Hello, and welcome back to Mellohi, a DSMP podcast. This is episode 29, and today we'll be discussing our predictions for the recent lore streams, along with the British educational system. As always, we refer to the characters by name and specify when we're talking to the writers, and we try to focus on analysis. Hello, and welcome back to Mellohi. I have hiccups today, so we'll see how that goes.
Woo! We also don't... Well... Okay, did we decide on what we're talking about this episode? I have an idea of what we're talking about.
We're going to talk about Quackity's lore since it's coming tomorrow. We're recording this on the Friday and it's out on the Saturday.
Yes.
And then this episode comes out on the Monday.
Yes, so I feel like we should just talk about all the teasers he's dropped and then what we think is going to happen. Mm-hmm. That way, on Monday, everyone can see how wrong or right we are. Because... That seems funny to me.
Well, the latest teaser he dropped,
that was not that long ago,
let's do it in order. Let me find,
today.
Let's see.
People were thinking it was
It's unbiased lore. Actually, you know what? I forgot to credit them. I forgot to credit unbiased lore because I actually read out one of the updates in our last episode.
Oh.
Basically, DSMP lore updates try to be like as neutral as possible and get basically like if you've had problems with any other lore updates with them, you're not considering stuff proper lore, whatever unbiased updates is meant to sort of take a neutral stance and try and update on everything fairly.
Oh yeah, unbiased lore updates is pretty good. I think they're a little slower sometimes, but it
yeah, because I think there's less people and because they're less well known, there's less people who will tell them, oh hey, lore is happening.
Yeah, but when they do update on lore, it's very much more thorough and sort of covers everything.
And giving quotes and stuff.
Yeah, it's much... I'd say it's better, it's just, you're not gonna get, like...
If you're really into, like, if you're just casual lore follower, then yeah, I guess it's kind of fine. Other lore updates will still be fine, but if you're, like, really interested in lore analysis and less appreciated characters, then they're great. Okay, so his latest one,
which was
Quackity tweeted, the final act, Saturday, November 27th, 1 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. CST, 4 p.m. EST, and if you are like in GMT like me, that's 8 p.m. EST, I think.
Yeah, sorry to everyone who's not...
Double check that, I am not good at math.
Sorry to everyone who's not in America and doesn't get told what time zone it's at. Because he only did...
I mean, it's pretty easy to check. Like, if I know it's EST, I just add 4 or 5 hours onto that depending on what time of the year it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so, basically it's a dark image of Quackity in his Las Nevadas skin, standing outside the prison entrance, and there appears to be what some people think is smoke coming out from the back.
I don't think
at least it's an interpretation I've seen. It almost looks red to me when I zoom in on it, but that just might be an effect of the color alteration.
It does look kind of red.
Is this gonna be egg lore? I really hope this is egg lore, because we haven't got any of that in ages.
It's definitely the prison, and then... But I feel like it's like two different, or like a couple different images like merged together. Like I don't feel like this is just like an edited screenshot, because if someone shared, where is it? Someone put a picture of the prison sort of like outside the prison entrance, from Rambo Street.
Oh yeah, it's like a birch and oak forest beside the prison, but from the photo it looks like there might be some spruce.
Which, I think there is some spruce over there. I don't know, there's something... No, they are spruce trees over there. So, it would match, but I don't know, something about the angle of it and the lights feels... I mean, I guess it could be. I don't know, something with the angle of it and then the actual makeup.
Oh yeah, also, Foolish is working on... he's working on his Dream XD statue. There's a lot of it done by now.
Yes.
It looks really cool, especially at night and especially with shaders.
Yes. He wants to...
But he also started a friendship club for Dream XD to spread the word of God.
Yes, so that he can get God power.
And a few people have joined. I'm not exactly sure who. I think Tina and maybe Hannah.
It's so far it's Foolish, H-Bomb, Tina, Hannah, Corpse. I think he got Carl to sign it eventually, and then I don't know if George signed it or not.
Okay, so back to Quackity. Also earlier today, he updated his skin. There is one tear coming from his eye. His hair looks longer. Apparently, his skin is paler. He's not wearing his tie or suspenders, and basically, he looks like kind of a mess.
Yeah, he's a wreck. People are calling it exile earthquake. The exilification.
There's even a theory that it's like his ghost, although that doesn't make sense since we know he has 2 lives left.
Yeah.
Although it'd be really interesting if it was like, that'd be an interesting plot twist if he did end up losing 2 lives, but then he continues as a ghost, just trying to mess stuff up. It might even give him an advantage, because like he can't kill someone who's already dead.
Oh my god. The hiccups are killing you. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets killed by Carl and he gets killed by Sapnap. 2 lives gone. Ghost Quackity. That's.
Could you imagine if they're the ones who killed him? That'd be.
That would be fucked up.
I can't really imagine Carl killing Quackity. I feel like if that was to happen, it would be like an accident.
Yeah.
No, oh my god, can you imagine?
Like he tries to high five him and accidentally knocks him off a cliff or
He's
something.
like, oh my god.
And he's like, that was canon.
I could definitely see Sapnap killing Quackity under the right circumstances, but I don't think Carl's the type who would. But I could see like Sapnap like finding out that like Quackity was torturing people or doing a bunch of like really fucked up shit and being like, oh, what the fuck, and getting like, super mad.
I like to imagine his skin is literally just post like the wedding getting crashed or some shit. Cause like, okay, 100%, there's gonna be
both of you to assume the wedding will happen.
It's 1000% like Kanoko Kingdom lore.
Yeah,
like,
I feel like the wedding shit's gonna happen because he keeps being like, he kept making hints at it all his streams. People asked about it, so I'm like, come on, there's got to be some like fiance lore.
And then we actually move on. This might be connected to the fiance lore because the next Hito, which is from yesterday, which he posted on his private and then deleted, is an image of either a sunset or a sunrise of two people standing there. I made a joke, looking out through a window.
Oh yeah, it looks like it might be that like a window in one of the Las Nevadas buildings, like the spear pillar, not Eiffel Tower, but the other thing that they like talked with Wilbur and a bunch of other people on. It kind of looks like it's like the upper part of that, but I don't know.
Yeah. I made a joke that it was like a nuclear explosion, but I know it's the sun. I just was like, it just looks so much like 2 people and then like some Fallout New Vegas shit happening in the background. And so I was like, interesting. But
the missing nuke comes into play.
I could.
Oh yeah, the fish that was stolen.
Oh yeah.
There was an agreement made between Hannah and Carl. Hannah will trade them back to Carl for a book with his signature in it.
Yeah.
The membership book.
The membership book for Felicia's club.
So that's the end of that story arc. We will now dedicate an entire section on the Dream SMP wiki to the stolen fish arc.
Yeah, that didn't go very far.
Stolen fish. Hey, I mean, shit happens, you know? Since it's the Dream SMP.
But okay, so focusing on what we think is gonna happen tomorrow, though, because we have.
I think there's a few more.
There's a couple more teasers. But
also, hopefully, Tails will come back soon because Carl has said recently that the set was almost ready, and recently he changed to his other side skin, which means he was probably recording some stuff for Tails. So hopefully, she'll be back. Ideally within like a week or 2. So Tails fans, look forward to that. Okay, here's the list actually. At least part of it. Oh yeah, Corpse is also part of the Dream XP Club.
Yeah.
And H-Bomb.
Yeah, so Foolish is working on that. The bunker for Las Nevadas is done, so Foolish has been working on his Dream XD statue and getting his gift from God, as it were. And then Quackity.
Oh yeah, also I forgot to mention, Carl also posted another teaser of like this weird room that's like stone and moss and flowers. It's like some kind of garden with a maze in it.
Oh yeah, for Tails.
So presumably that's part of the new Tales.
Yeah. I think that covers everything recently that's...
Oh yeah, also Quackity wanted to find a clip from one of the times he was denied entry to Lemberg for not being British or for being American,
Yeah,
basically.
I think he actually...
So presumably that's gonna play a part in...
I think he might have actually found it, because he had the screenshot he shared, and it was like him and George standing in front of Lemberg, and I was like, I think he got enough clips. I think he got enough evidence that he was like had the right idea. So I was like, shit.
I couldn't find. I was one of the people trying to help find it.
Yeah.
I found.
Oh yeah, I think didn't you say that you thought you found it, but part of the VOD was muted?
Yeah. So I found like 3 different clips of sort of Quackity being told, or like sort of like told that he couldn't join Lemberg. Once by Tommy, once by Wilbur after the fact, where Quackity was saying like, hypothetically, if I'm not American, like what would you say to letting me in? And that there was that bit, and it seemed like they were referring back to the time when Wilbur first told him he wasn't allowed to join Lemberg because he's not European, but we couldn't find like the actual clip, and then someone linked Quackity's VOD from like the first time he joined the Dream SMP and said it was in there, and I scanned through the entire thing, and there's a solid chunk of like 10 minutes maybe that is completely muted, I'm assuming for copyright music. And so the theory for a little bit at least was like, oh well, this is probably when it was, and it got muted. But there were enough clips outside of that of them sort of bullying him.
I was like, the one that got me was the one where like Wilbur just murders Quackity.
I still don't get why people like deny the fact that that's canon. Like that was a huge part of early Lemberg.
There's a lot of stuff about it.
Like the fact that they didn't let Americans in.
Yeah, they didn't let anybody in who was non-British,
it was like a literal
non-European.
Like point that they made whenever betrayed them, that like saying that he did that because he lived in America, so he wasn't like really British.
Yeah.
Or saying that like George was like practically American because all his friends are American.
Yeah. The weirdest thing I saw someone say was like, oh well, Wilbur never denied Quackity a visa, and I was like, you're wrong, because there's a whole scene where Quackity is running towards Lemberg, and then Wilbur is like, kill him, push him in the river, like, get him out of here, he can't go to Lemberg.
That was one of the clips.
And then Quackity's like, why can't I have a visa? And then Wilbur just starts fucking, like, screaming at him, and like, and then he kills him. And I was like, yeah, so he never, like, he was always denied access.
Wilbur can be very funny.
Yeah, I was like, he's not like a good guy. And then in the debate, Quackity deliberately brings it up multiple times that he was denied, and like, entrance, and he was denied citizenship, and he was denied all these things. And then Wilbur doesn't fight it.
Like, it's his entire motivation that he ran into election, and then people are like, no, we want to believe that Lemberg is like purely morally good, and there's no moral complexity to this at all, so we're just gonna ignore the whole start of this guy's character arc. Yeah. Because we don't like our favorite characters.
I mean, I don't get why people are trying to fight so hard. I'm like, Wilbur never, like, content creator Wilbur talks about Wilbur wasn't a good guy.
I don't get it, because that's the stuff that I like. Like, most of my favorite Dream SMP characters are the ones, like, I like Wilbur, I like Dream, I like Awesome Dude, the ones that are really morally grey and they do tons of bad stuff, but they're also really interesting characters that, like, have a lot of complexity to them and are also, like, significantly mentally ill, because I can relate.
I don't know. Yes. It's just like I really hope Quackity's lore he said it, he pointed like a fake gun, I think, at like he was streaming and he started just yelling and saying like, he's like, you guys always say like I fucking ruined the lore, and he's like, shut the fuck up. He's like and he basically just said he doesn't care anymore. Cause like I actually have a screenshot from September 2020 where after it was like when he started doing the lore was like Schlatt and stuff. He kept getting DMs and messages about how people said he was ruining the lore and they hated him. And like, I was like, so this guy has just been getting this shit for over a year, and I'm like, whenever I see somebody make a post where they're like, hot take, it's like boring when content creators like do this and this, I'm like, you're that photo of that person looking around and it just says, just making sure I don't fit in. Like, chill, calm down. Like, it's, I don't know.
Yeah, like, it's alright to not like something, but don't act like just because you don't like it, it's inherently inferior.
Yeah.
You can just not like something. Like, I don't like romance movies. I don't go around saying, all romance movies are terrible and everyone who likes them has bad taste. I just say, not my thing. Don't like that kind of story.
Yeah.
Really boring to me, probably fun for someone else.
Yeah. No, 100%. Like, it's just a matter of, like, you can have an opinion about it. It's like, but if you have, like, 60,000 followers on your art account, maybe think before hitting the tweet button, you know? Maybe, like...
I mean, to be honest, you can't really blame, unless they're, like, specifically saying, like, go harass this person, or I think this person should be harassed. Like, they're not responsible for controlling people who like their art. That's on those people, but...
Oh, I just feel... yeah.
I think, like, anyone, like, you're saying something on the internet, and especially on Twitter where people tend to do that stuff, you should probably just, like, give it a read over, say, like, oh, isn't there, like... It's like, basically just think before you speak.
Yeah, basically.
Like, do you really need to say it? Or, like, is this an opinion you actually need to share? Or can you just not like it?
And hell, even if it is an opinion you feel like you want to share with people, and it's, like, directly in response to something, there's a whole thing called subtweeting, where you don't directly at or link the post that you're, like, talking about. Because if you do, if you're, like, quote retweeting,
then it's like, ooh,
applying
you know?
directly, then you're targeting the person. Like, it's one thing for you to, like, because that shit people are gonna see. So if you're, like, quote retweeting something, talking about, like, hey, I really don't like this, this is really
basically do what
like,
people do on Tumblr, which is just beg. Like, when I used to go into the Dream SMP tag, I don't do that anymore, because I have, like, I follow people who post good stuff, and then they reblog people that I then follow. But basically, when I used to go to the Dream SMP tag, it would be so funny, because you'd be scrolling down the recent posts, right, and you'd see a take that is so obviously a response to something someone else has said, and then you scroll down for a few more minutes and you see the post that was responding to, and then sometimes you'd scroll down a bit more and you'd see a post that post was responding to, and like, they're not ashing each other or anything, they're just like saying something that they disagree with and then making their own post about it.
Yeah.
Like on Tumblr, there is very much, unless someone has shown that they're open to debate.
Yeah.
Just make your own post.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Nah, shit's wild, you know. Shit's wild on the internet. I can already imagine there's gonna be a lot of posts after Quackity's lore. Don't know what it's gonna be like because I haven't seen it, but I can imagine that there's gonna be people unhappy on quite a few sides. But hey, you know.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Look, one thing I can tell for certain is gonna be a lot of angst fan art and a lot of angst fanfic.
Yeah.
From probably everyone involved.
I think right now,
Like, no matter which character's your favorite, you're probably gonna end up wanting something.
Yeah.
Either like liking it or making it yourself.
the question is what kind of angster? Because it sounds like we're pretty much guaranteed, like, fiancés, like, Kanoko Kingdom drama.
But the teaser that has the prison in it implies that we might be seeing something of that, even though it's just a part of it. And then we also have the fact that it's been a while since Techno escaped, and we know that he's feeling healthy, like he's feeling better.
Yeah, well, see, that's the, like,
because he's
one
been on
thing...
streams recently, and he's been recording videos and stuff, so we know that he's feeling good, basically. He's up to it.
Yeah. Well, that's the one thing...
I feel like if he tried to do stream when he wasn't up to it, I feel like people would just be like, his chat would just be like, stop doing this, go rest.
Yeah. Well, okay, but that's, like, the one thing, like, I'm questioning, like, how much, like, prison content, like, I don't think we're gonna get, a prison break, to be honest. Like, I really want that to happen. But I really don't... Like, I don't
If we
think
do get
that'll
a prison break,
happen.
I want
because
to at
I
least
think if
get
it
a
did, it
build
would
up
be-
to a prison break.
Yeah, it might be that, but I don't think it would be the prison break itself, because I think for that, like, Techno would want to do his own stream.
Although, actually, that brings up something else, which is, well, two things, actually. First, he has mentioned that somebody wants him to raid
Yeah,
them
that was what I was
when
gonna
they
say.
finish their stream, and there's a good few options for people that could be, depending especially on who shows up during the stream. So we're not quite sure. We know that there's going to be his stream, and then after that there's going to be someone else's.
Yeah.
But also, I just forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, there was another teaser that he made that was him standing in in like a room, I think one of the rooms in Las Nevadas, and someone wearing netherite armor on the other.
Yeah.
So we don't know who that is, but we can kind of narrow it down by who has netherite armor.
That's the majority of the
So
server.
it could be Sam, could be Ranmu. Yeah, I know, but also people who are involved in his lore, or could be based on, like, a lot of his teasers have mentioned stuff that's phrases that are associated with Ranmu's lore, and Ranmu has full netherite armor, so
It could be Ranmu,
him.
because he's got the whole burger van nearby. I mean, I feel like we're guaranteed to see some kind of, like, L'Manberg-Wilbur centered
Yeah,
content,
100%.
even if it's just quackity, like, reminiscing, flashbacking, or talking about it, because we know that he asked for that clip. It could be
he's
Ranmu
done,
'cause
like,
of the
in
name.
previous streams, he's, like, gone and talked to a bunch of different people.
Yeah.
So it could be a situation like that again. Also, there's the fact that he's mentioned it's the end, which is really interesting, because it implies, like, this is, like, the final...
It implies that it's the final before something, is my kind of take on it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's, like, the final...
Which implies that there's going to be a large change to the status quo, at least for his character, after this.
Yeah.
So that could be Dream getting out, that could be something with the fiancés, that could be something completely that's... we don't even know, it's so unexpected we can't even predict that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all assuming Kanoko's getting burned down, but there's a possibility it's Las
It could be
Nevadas.
something to do with the egg.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned before, it's possible that this is that his lore stream and he's been involved in the egg arc. So it could be that they're tied together, and that's why there's been a delay in the egg arc and the finale for that, because there was a delay in the prison lore, which caused a delay in Quackity's lore, which has therefore caused a delay in the egg arc.
Yeah. All the lore has been...
At least that's a theory. Because they mentioned like way back in spring, that it's sort of like everything's connected and there's going to be one event that sets everything off. And I think that's the reason there's been this huge lore drought, is that all the sort of like main storylines have been tied up with this one event, which is being delayed. Meaning that until that event happens, and hopefully this stream is going to be that event, all the other storylines sort of have to be on standstill.
Even if it's not the event,
for a
I want
while,
it to
because
be,
they
like,
can't
the
really
last
get to
thing
their next
before the event.
plot point. Like, they can do stuff in between, but there's only so much they can use to fill that space. But they can't get on to the next, like, part of the story without this event happening, because otherwise it would presumably put all their other plans off, and they'd have to presumably rewrite a whole bunch of stuff that they have written and are happy with.
I don't know. I'm going in with, like, mind blank. I'm gonna wipe my mind before I go into it, just so if anything happens, I will not be disappointed or underwhelmed or anything. I'll just be like, yummy meal. Like that one picture of that cat that literally just, it's like staring blank-eyed and it's like, yummy meal. I don't know. I can't even think of like specific theories because I've seen so many that people have. Like, there's it's quacky. Okay, so the whole thing is like, this...
Here's my theory. Here's my theory. Halfway through the lore stream, a portal is going to open up to Hovercraft, and a giant moon is going to come through and crash into Pandora's vault, and that's how Dream escapes.
Listen, I mean, at this point, like, sometimes, like, they'll be like, okay, I'm doing lore, and I'm like, oh, cool. So you try to expect it, and then shit just happens, and you're like, huh? It's happening, but you're like, I could not have guessed that. Like, fuck, man. Someone said time loop, and I was like, no. I was like, no, if there's a fucking time loop, I know Carl is involved in the lore, but still, I can't handle it. I love time loops, but that's just like, and then someone was like,
oh, I'm a Kingdom Hearts
Yeah.
fan. Time loops are right up my alley.
I mean, someone was like, what if they're really just gonna do like Prison Break meets Kingdom Hearts, and that's why Dream XD mentioned a kingdom and like all this shit to Foolish, and then like he's gonna be involved, and then like the in-between and the other side are gonna be involved, and then like Lost Nevadas is gonna be like, I don't know, some Ground Zero shit.
When you said that, I thought like when you said like Prison Break was Kingdom Hearts, I thought more like a dream escapes and then goes off on a journey across Disney World, learning lessons about friendships, and then he comes back and he beats up Quackity and Sam with the power of friendship.
I mean, at this point,
and also giant
it's
key
a possibility. It's a possibility. Throw Percy Jackson in there too, because like, Ryder Dream's a big fan.
Well, that would require. Actually, does Disney own? I'm pretty sure Disney doesn't own. Who made the Percy Jackson movies again?
I don't know.
Disney owns a lot of stuff.
The what?
I think they actually might own Percy Jackson.
The movies that no one acknowledges the existence of.
Pretty sure they might actually own them.
Percy Jackson film.
So Disney
series.
Plus is making a.
Nope. Does Disney own Fox?
Yes, they
Did
bought
they
them.
buy them? Okay, so they do own the
and
Percy
they're
Jackson
actually making a new
movie.
Percy Jackson television series on Disney Plus. So yeah, they definitely own Percy Jackson.
Eh. I thought that was Netflix.
So.
I think was it originally Netflix and then.
I think it was on
I don't
Netflix,
know
but
anymore.
Disney
Why
has
does
their own
Disney
streaming
own
service.
so much
Disney is
stuff?
eating up companies like they're hotcakes. That's what Disney does. They're a monopoly at this fucking point, or they will be. But
Oh, they've been a monopoly for decades.
no, like they are. Everybody's like, oh, monopoly. They're monopoly, and that's why if it's Kingdom Hearts,
They're trying to extend copyright again because it's coming up on Mickey Mouse, like the original version, passing out of copyright.
they copyright everything.
Honestly, I don't like copyright being that long. I think it should be like till death of creator, not death of creator plus 70 whole
They renew
years.
their copyrights.
I think that's just a bit excessive.
Yeah, it's excessive. It's Disney is.
Like at most, if you want their family to be able to get money for it, maybe like 10 years after death or something. But it shouldn't be that the only stuff that is like public domain is stuff created before most people alive today were born.
I mean, the rule, yeah.
Because it's just most of it isn't culturally
Yeah, copyright is it's a bitch. Which is why if they threw in anything to do with Disney into Dream SMP and they make like anything too close, Disney will come for them. So
I don't know. I think they kind of got like partial fair
yeah, or
use
parody law. I
because
think parody law.
it's not the Disney stuff that people are like coming for, right? It's the streamers.
Yeah.
So as long as they're not like actively like playing a Disney movie on stream or using their music or
Yeah,
whatever,
then they'll be okay.
they're
They can make
alright.
references because parody law protects you and stuff.
Yeah, basically as long as they make it funny. I think that's just really funny that there's all these rules about copyright, but they can't stop you if you make it a joke. Because then you're protected.
Or like,
by
fair
parody
use
law.
education, that's also one. So like you could be like, this is educational.
I mean, that doesn't stop them from trying to take down YouTube
Oh yeah,
channels
no,
and stuff.
that's because they got all the power. But yeah, I don't know. Like technically, they could make the entire Kingdom Hearts plot and just be like, as long as it's parody law, it doesn't matter. So
Oh, Quackity just pretends to be Donald Duck.
Oh my god, his Donald Duck impression.
That sounds like something he would do, actually. That sounds like something he would do. Especially in like a George stream, like he's doing like George lore. He would.
Bingo board should just be that.
Because Quackity definitely uses those as an opportunity to go a bit crazy with his humor.
I'm like, if you had to make a bingo board for the Lost Nevada lore, it should be things like Quackity's Squidward impression, Donald Duck impression, or his really his fake crying. Like if he does that one fake cry in the lore, I'm actually going to laugh because it's such a funny cry. I'm gonna be like.
Also, I think my hiccups are gone.
Sorry, what was that? Sorry, my hearing is bad.
I think my hiccups are gone.
Oh yeah.
I haven't had one in a bit. So I can talk, but I've been constantly interrupted by a hiccup.
Yeah. They go away.
See that?
Yeah.
See, the thing is I feel like the content creators are just so passionate
Yeah.
about the stories they're telling, especially Quackity. That no matter what, like, I think even if, like, he plays up, like, the goofiness and stuff when he's just streaming, there's no, like, I feel like there will be elements of that in whatever he does, but there's no way that anything he does for this is not gonna come off, like, authentic feeling. Because he's so passionate about it.
Oh yeah, no,
and I
like
think all the people he involves in it are so passionate about it that even if he has, like, the goofiest fake cry or whatever,
it'll work.
or
It'll still
somebody
work.
else does, they're gonna
It'll
find a
still
way
work.
to make that work
Yeah.
and fit. Like, they're just so passionate about it, and he's got
What are
such
we
a...
gonna do if he pulls like a Jack Manifold and just ends up lying in a hotel for 2 months?
Oh my god.
He,
Not going
he goes
outside.
on a what the hell is it called? A binger?
I think it's a bender, like when you go and
He
like you
breaks
just
up
drink.
with his fiancés. Yeah, he goes on
Yeah,
a
you
bender
just
and
drink
just
back to
holes
back.
up in the casino.
I mean,
Sam knocks on the door and walks in and is like, Quackity? Are you okay, man? He's like, fuck off!
yeah, we're not considering.
Sam forces him to go to like a support
Oh.
group,
Yeah.
but the only other person there is
Yeah,
Jack.
they gotta get
Wait,
them into
H-bomb
Alcohol
runs AA.
Anonymous. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
can go
H-Bomb and
to
Jack.
H-bomb about Alcoholics
yeah.
Anonymous.
Get the AA meetings in here. Shit.
Yeah.
It's H-Bomb rebuilds his cat cafe.
Oh
God.
yeah.
Hold them in.
And then Quackity gets to help run it. Everybody gets to like run it as like a restorative like rehabilitation effort. Hell yeah. I'm thinking about the fact that like that bunker was built and like now you've like brought up the idea of him going on a bender and I'm just like, damn, what if he just like goes and fucking lives in it? Like he just runs away from all of the shit that's happened.
Actually, wait, no, it's a bunker, remember? That actually kind of makes
Yeah,
sense.
he's just yeah.
If he's afraid of Dream being escaped, even though he's not
Yeah.
actually,
I mean he yeah.
and he's worried that maybe Techno's gonna come after him and stuff about it, and he doesn't really have a reason to like stay outside after he breaks up with the fiancés.
I just
That's
thought of
actually a
something
possibility that he'll just end up
incredibly
living in his
sad.
bunker, and then he has to deal with it being the Among Us
Among Us.
map.
I just thought you saying that just made me think of something incredibly sad.
Oh,
So
no.
far what we know is he's got this skin of him seemingly crying, his hair's longer, he's an absolute mess. So what if the lore that happens is that he's freaking out about Dream being escaped, he confronts Sapnap and Carl, the fiancés sort of have a fight and break it off, a bunch of like shit gets revealed, and then we just go into like a full time skip of him like leaving and going home, and so it's like, because technically Techno escaped like over a month ago, and so what if this stream that he's gonna do covers that span of time from Quackity leaving the prison to
That would be
whatever
really
the
fun.
current date is before assumably the prison escape happens or something, and during that month we just see him like burrowing, like staying inside the bunker completely obsolete, sobbing his heart out and going on a complete
God.
bender and just turning into Schlatt.
God.
Because that's what
That would be
Schlatt's deal
some
was.
very fun character.
It would be
development.
epic, because Schlatt's whole thing too was that he was just this mess of a human being that felt
Yeah, he was
Like, he was
ooh.
abandoned or left or whatever as he went through this incredible decline and had no one left sort of thing. And it would be very, very interesting to see Quackity go through a similar devolvement of just becoming an absolute wreck.
Also, Schlatt might come back only because there was that really old, like, picture of Schlatt standing there, like, behind, like, a counter-looking thing.
No, I think he said actually, he said on a podcast
Yeah.
with Quackity that he is actually interested
Okay, so
in
yeah,
coming
so
back
I'm pretty
into
sure
the
he's
lore.
coming back then, because there's just that really old...
Has anyone checked his Minecraft skin lately?
No, I haven't. He doesn't really change it that often, though. Like,
No, but assumably, like, if they're recording stuff, he might have changed it to the
yeah,
Glat skin.
I have not checked, but he might just still be in the Glat skin? Maybe, because the gym wasn't that, I mean, it was like, what, 8 months ago? I don't know. I don't...
No, but he was in that video that Tommy recorded. I think it was Tommy. Yeah, Tommy recorded recently, and he was in his normal
Okay.
skin then.
I don't know then. I have not checked. I just keep feeling like he's gonna be there because Charlie Slimesicle made
I
that
didn't even-
post where he was like, I can't remember what it said, but it was literally just Schlatt staring him down from behind a counter, and it looked like he was selling things, and I was like, what? And he just never addressed it, and it was during when Slimesicle was doing his lore for Last Nevada, so I was like, okay, we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, and hopefully we'll get some Slimesicle lore.
Yeah.
Or like Slime, I guess is his character's name at the moment.
Yeah, they haven't given him a name yet.
Hopefully we'll get some Slime lore. Honestly, I just think it's easier just to call the character Slime and like the actual person Slimesicle, because it's a really good way of distinguishing between the two without having to say like character or C exclamation point.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he just like outright just gave his character a different name, and like nobody else has that chance because most of them just started out without meaning to roleplay that much. And he's coming in like as someone with a bunch of D&D experience when we're like well into the main, like the whole story and the roleplay, and he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna give my character a slightly different name than me for convenience.
Slime. He's also been called Guy.
Honestly, I'm surprised it took this long for someone to do that.
Yeah, that is true. It's kind of it's kind of funny how long it took someone to be like, actually, let me go by a different name, because it's a lot better. I wonder if like the Dream SMP ends and they start something else, or if they do, they just will use different names. You gotta wonder.
Yeah, I wonder if they might want to try doing another roleplay thing after like the Dream SMP ends, because a lot of them definitely seem to have a lot of fun with it. And obviously there'd be a pre-existing audience.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like 1.18 comes out on the 30th, and I feel like if they were gonna do something, like if they were gonna kind of like, not restart, but you know how like Hermitcraft does like new seasons and it's like a new story, new things each time. I feel like if they were gonna do that, 1.18 is the time, because I know they said that they were gonna keep the old world around, but provide like incentive to move to the new world, which I don't know if that means they're gonna continue the story as it began, or
I think people suggest that they might move the world spawn to be really far away in newly generated terrain.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like...
So, like, they can still visit the original spawn.
Yeah, from what I know, it's like you can still... You'll be able to go to the old world. But it sounded like, from what it sounded like to me, was that it was basically going to become a server that ran two worlds at the same time that you could go back and forth
and there'd be like a portal.
But there'd be some kind of incentive for moving to the new world and just staying on the new world, or permanently using the new world. And I don't know if roleplay wise how that's gonna work out. Like, part of me was thinking jokingly, like, what happens if like Dream escapes the prison and then goes
Okay, wait, actually, no, what would be really
goes on a manhunt and then finds a new world, or just runs so far he gets to a new world.
What if the end doesn't exist in the Dream SMP? What if the end portal instead takes you to this new world?
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be kind of wild.
Well, the thing is that we know the end does exist, in some kind of terms, because Dream XD says his kingdom is in the end. Because he told that to Foolish
I think
recently.
he doesn't say. I don't think he said his kingdom's in the end. He just says that he needs to go to his kingdom.
But weren't they talking in the end? I thought they were during that conversation, because he showed like an end portal and then that he placed down, and then I don't know. It sounded like between him and Foolish talking that he was saying his kingdom was in the end.
No,
but maybe
because
not.
Because I've seen people theorizing that he might be talking about the other side.
Maybe?
Or stuff like that. So I'm assuming I didn't actually watch the stream, that part of the stream. So I'm just kind of working on what I've heard. But from what I've heard, what he said implies that his kingdom is the end, but it also works with my theory of the portal going to the new world. And in this theory, that new world would be his kingdom. And it's only when something happens that leads him to like let people go through the portals.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I watched it live, but now I'm like not entirely sure what they all said during that conversation. I can't remember exactly.
And also that adds like more credence to the whole thing. Like, Dream XD is the only one who can supply materials from the end.
Yeah.
Because it's not that he has things from this place that he doesn't allow anyone else in. It's that these are specifically items that only a god can create.
Maybe.
That don't exist naturally anywhere because the end doesn't exist. Although that would actually mean some really interesting things for Rambu's character if the end doesn't exist.
Yeah. I don't know. There's so much about the end and the ties to the sort of the Dream SMP that we don't know. Because we do know, concretely, that Dream XD is the protector of the end. He makes sure people do not go in the end. He's the guardian of the end. So we know that.
We also know that people don't seem to know about it because Filza and Techno didn't know what the portal was when they found it.
Rambu didn't know either.
Yeah.
I think
he just sort of felt familiar.
I know Eric found one. I don't know if he canonically found one and what his character's reaction to it was either. I just know so far I think anyone who's in character interacted with the table or an end portal has not known what they were. I think Rambu had a weird fascination with it kind of thing where he stared at it for a while, but I think his character didn't know. So the end is something, it's kind of weird because there's the end is off limits. We have this god that will show up and literally kick your ass if you try and get in or around the portals, or will canonically just full out break them so they don't exist anymore. But he expects people to open them and go through, but at the same time doesn't seem to know what they are. Foolish, I guess, technically knows what they are, canonically. With that whole Dream XD conversation, though, because he showed him he put an end portal down, and Foolish was like, let me in! It's just let me go to the end. So maybe it's a god thing. Maybe gods know about it, but who knows?
But yeah, I think that's an interesting theory. That would be a fun way for them to do it, to have end portals. And it would basically just enforce on the server itself the never going to the end thing if opening a portal just leads you to the other world.
Yeah. That would be really neat.
Make it physically impossible to go to the end.
That would be cool, and it would mean he doesn't really have to.
And then that means that Dream can still use items from the end as rewards and contests and stuff.
Oh.
Because it will literally be impossible to get them if you don't. If you're not able to access creative mode.
Techno just posted something on his community tab. Sunday, November 28th, 2 p.m. EST, probably jailbreak.
Probably.
Wait, Ray?
I like the probably.
Yeah, you never know the time with him, but sounds like,
Man.
So it sounds like it won't be happening with Quackity's stream, but the day after.
They're gonna run the lore straight into when I have to, go to the goddamn psychologist.
It's gonna be
the art's cool. It's got Dream smiley face. It's got Awesome Dude's face. It's got a little Rambu doll, and then it's got Techno, hovering over. Okay, the Rambu edition's very interesting.
Yeah, what the hell?
Interesting.
Interesting.
Did he commission that art, or did he just use
I
one?
think it might be.
It might just be embellishing.
I'm not sure. I'd have to check. I recognize that art style. It's this artist that
It's
he
an artist
uses
called
their art for thumbnails a lot.
Is it Cloaky? Or...
So I think
No.
I don't think I've seen them post that art. If they haven't posted it yet, then it was probably commissioned.
Yeah. Hold on. Is that Cloaky? No. Oh yeah, it is Cloaky. Have they posted that art before? No, they haven't.
Then it's probably commissioned.
Ooh.
He just DM'd this artist and said, "Hey, can you make me some cool art and I'll give you money?" And they said, "Yeah."
Yo.
And then they had to keep it secret.
So.
Okay, so I guess we should probably talk a bit about that now. Is the organized podcast recording?
I don't know how it's gonna go if he actually gets broken out. Cause when you think about it, you're just what the hell is gonna happen? I mean,
I don't know.
I think it's largely gonna depend on how good he is at hiding the effects of prism.
Yeah.
True.
Or
it depends how much Well, it partially depends how much the content creators want to go into how badly it has affected him. Because it depends if they want to go, like, realistic, or if they want to
Dream's
go...
gone pretty far already with, like, all the self-harm stuff.
That's true. Like, that's the darkest it's gotten, I think, as far as
But
his
we also know that
reactions.
techno does try and keep things lighthearted even when there's darker aspects.
Yeah, well, it also depends, like, how realistic they want to go with it in, like, a recovery sense. Like, is it going to be, like, a physical recovery, or is it mostly just mental, with him acting kind of strange about certain things? We don't know.
I mean, it's kind of hard to depict physical stuff in Minecraft.
Yeah.
So I'd say they'll probably go the more mental effect route.
In which case, how severe do they want to go with that? Because obviously there's the whole jumping in lava thing, but that's often, he plays that, he does it, but then he lets the implications of how, like, fucked up that is sort of be decided by the viewer instead of him sort of playing it out, how terrible it is. So how dark they're gonna go with it?
I find that actually really interesting because it actually matches, like, how a lot of people who do self-harm think. Like, there's this feeling that's like, I know I'm hurting myself and I know that's wrong, but I don't want to tell someone about that. I want someone to notice it. Because that means someone, like, is actually bothered to care about me.
Yeah.
Well, if I tell them, then they might just dismiss me and say that it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I just think it's cool. That's pretty realistic in my experience.
Yeah, even when... Yeah, whenever Dream does it, he plays it sort of, like, for laughs. Or, like, his character plays it really casually, and it's just the characters around him responding to him, and then the audience themselves being like, what? That's not good, buddy.
And also Bad Boy Halo being, what?
Yeah, him freaking out, or, like, Techno being like, okay, wait, stop, get away from the lava. Calm down. I don't know, sounds like we're gonna have a lore-packed weekend, which... I'm down for.
It's gonna be interesting.
I'm so glad this is happening this weekend because I'm going away for a couple of days at the start of the week, and it will be an absolute nightmare to have lore on while I'm, like, down at the other end of the country.
Shit. If they do that back-to-back thing where it's like every single day, I'm gonna be like, listen, I appreciate it, but also, holy fucking shit, give us, like, a cool-down week, man. Like, give us, like, you know, do it on the weekends, or, like, Mondays and Tuesdays.
We've had cool-down months.
To me, it's still a lot. I'm a very... I get easily overwhelmed.
It's the crossover.
But actually, I'm interested in seeing if they keep the slower pace. Maybe have it be more like early season 3, where stuff's still happening, but not on a super regular basis. Or if it'll be more like season 2, where everything's very fast paced with not many spaces between things and often multiple plot points happening in one day. And it is possible that they will go back to that very fast paced lore, especially since this is around the time they did that. So presumably it's a time where people are more free and they're not doing other stuff like vlogs. But there is a few other factors. Like, I think I mentioned this before, but, like, I'm basically in my country's equivalent of the year that Tommy is in right now, and I am completely exhausted. I have to do a lot of work and a lot of study, so I'm honestly kind of amazed he's able to do so much stuff.
Not for real.
While also, like, wanting to do well in his exams and go to university. So, like I said this before, Tommy fans, you might not see as much lore for him because he's probably quite busy.
Probably. Who knows with him?
Honestly, I am kind of jealous of British students though, because they only have to do maximum 3 subjects, and then I'm doing like 8.
Fuck that. That is.
And like 6 of them are counted for my final grade.
Wait, you have to do 8,
but I still have to do 8.
That seems nonsense.
Well, it's the top 8. So the idea is you got some space, so if there's a subject you're not great in, that doesn't get counted.
Huh. I mean, I guess that's good.
It's good for me because it's a good few subjects I'm not great in.
Me.
But yeah, probably Turbo dropped out of school, so he's good.
He's
Bromby
good.
is
But he is in
graduated.
the
He's
US
good.
for only a month.
Tommy wants to go to university, so Tommy is probably not gonna have much time, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I forgot that college university is like different in like Britain and like Ireland and stuff. Man.
And Ireland we're sensible about it, but Britain does colleges, which are like for 2 years. And that's what we call in Ireland, we call the leaving cert. The leaving cycle, which then you do the leaving cert at the end and you get the leaving certificate. And it is generally acknowledged as a nationwide traumatic event that the majority of people have gone through.
Shit.
Just because of how stressful it is.
Yeah, no, you can just go to a college here.
Bonus is our university fees. Well, technically we don't have them. There is like a fee that you have to pay, it's like called a student contribution. But it's basically like if you're in Ireland and you're at a certain age and you're fit within certain things like being an Irish citizen or an EU citizen or whatever, basically you get university that is way cheaper than Britain, way cheaper than the US, and still the most expensive in the EU, so you should probably go to the Netherlands instead.
That's... Hey, man. Fuck.
At least you're not as bad as the US.
I don't know. I saw Foolish dropped out, I think. And I was like, I don't blame him.
Foolish
I don't blame him.
in school.
I mean, he was streaming like 10-hour days. Dude, what the fuck? He didn't got time for school. He wasn't even sleeping. It's like,
Well, he became a full-time streamer, I think, last January or February, he said, so he's been out of school
someone
for a while.
on Tumblr who, like, knows Purple in real life and goes, like, they're real life friends with him, and they go to school with him?
No idea.
no idea.
Apparently, or something like that.
Zero idea.
All I know is we're hitting the end of
And
our
apparently
time.
he steals pencils.
Yeah, we got 8
we
minutes.
should probably finish talking about Dream SMP instead of school.
Yeah, we did a weird tangent on education systems there.
Yeah, okay, so...
But yeah, I'm really interested in what pace they take in the lore going forward from now. Like, will this be something that triggers a lot of lore happening within a short time, or will they stick to a more stretched out, more paced way of doing things? Or will it just be that they have so much stuff planned that even if it was originally going to be stretched out over the year, they just all want to do it in like the next 3 months, so we just get it packed anyway, even if that's not what they originally planned.
I mean, according to Wilbur, there was 10 streams for the burger van thing, but they never happened. So
Yeah, they probably will
we'll
end
see.
up having
Yeah, I think it's just like
some of them.
it's a lot of scheduling. So it's like people are out doing shit that they may or maybe shouldn't do. So you know, scheduling.
Shake my.
We'll
shaking my
see.
head.
I'm gonna be. I just if it's gonna be like every single.
Oh, wait, no, we have to talk about Punk. Remember obligatory Punk mention to this before we finish up this episode? Punk, to my knowledge, hasn't really done much score. I think he was busy with some IRL stuff.
Yeah, I'm hoping what will happen with Punk is that because you know we have Fundy with the nightmares, and then we're having like
bring back awesome
that
Punk.
and I want to see the end. I want to see the continuation of those character arcs. Okay, I want to see what happens when they meet up again. And I want Foolish to be involved for conflict. I also want to see the continuation of Punk using, because he was like actually one of the first people to use like dreams and like nightmares on the Dream SMP. And I want to see him be brought in to like that kind of thing, because they've implied that there is some level of nightmare and dreams and all this weird dreamscape shit between George, Quaggity, Fundy, the Punk, Dream XD.
I mean, she can like, I think canonically like got memories from her ancestors.
Yeah, and it was like just wild, and I was like, okay. I was like, well, let's expand upon this. Let's go. But we'll see what they do.
Alright, so that's the end of the episode. This will be coming out on Monday after hopefully Dream has escaped and Quackity has done his lore and all of that. So I suppose we'll see. You'll be listening to this, and you know what? Leave us a comment, add us on Twitter, visit our Discord or whatever. Just say what we got right, what we got wrong, because in my experience, I just forget most stuff that happens in this podcast the moment I stop recording. Just flies out of my head. So drop us a comment and tell us what we got right, what we got wrong.
Good luck this weekend.
We'll
hold strong,
Good luck
everybody.
last weekend.
yeah, it'll already
I
have
don't know.
passed, right? So.
Oh yeah.
A good luck with future lore and the consequences of what happened this
Days
weekend.
of future past. That's what we're doing right here.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, thanks for listening to the 29th episode of Mellohi, and we hope you enjoyed it. If there's any topic you'd like to hear us discuss, feel free to leave a comment or find us on Twitter at Mellohi Podcast, where you can also ask us questions or just get updates about new episodes. We also have a Discord server that you can find a link to in the description. See you next time.